Just a Simple Life is the title of Joan Smee's memoir, but you soon realise that her life has been anything but simple, enduring more than her fair share of heartache and challenging situations. But throughout a life of poverty and despair, Joan's art has helped her through. So I went to meet this incredible lady to hear more of her inspirational story. Joan grew up in the 1930s in Scunthorpe, but from an early age she would know great sorrow, abandonment and indifference from those around her, including her own mother. But now persuaded by friends and family, she has released her life story detailing the highs and lows of growing up in the north, joining the army and eventually settling in Portsmouth.
A lot of people have got to know me and certain bits about my life, and then somebody just turned around and said to me, well, could I write your book? I've never publicised myself in any way. I'm not a show-off. In fact, I'm dead the opposite, and a lot of people don't know. I didn't know you painted like that, you know. But I've painted all my life, so it's a natural thing to me, so not to boast about it, you know. And this is the result of it. When I was 3.5, I got up one morning and my dad used to make a fire before he went to work on steelworks, and I was ill in bed, and he used to give me my medicine and stoke the fire up, and then he'd kiss me and tuck me in, and off he'd go to work. And this morning there was no fire and the house seemed empty, and as I opened the door and he fell over my dad's body. Why is Daddy's face so yellow? And I couldn't understand, and I didn't understand why he was there. I didn't know the word suicide, never heard of any such things like that. And my mum pulled me back, but that was the beginning of the end for me, because my mother disowned me at birth. And she loved my brother, because he was 2 years older than me, but she was an entertainer. She didn't want the responsibility of kids, but when I came along, the girl was the last thing she wanted, you know. So it was my dad who looked after me. And I knew then, after he'd been buried, that, well, I'm on my own now. Mummy doesn't love me. I've got to bring myself up. I was put in a home, and from that home, I had nowhere to go, so I joined the army, because I knew I'd have a wage packet, I'd have work, and I'd have a roof over my head and somewhere to live. The girl who moved in the bed next to me, she lived in Portsmouth. I didn't really know her, and I said to her, we got talking, I said, we'll go to the Naffy Club, shall we? No, she said, I'll take you down to Portsmouth. I said, well, where's Portsmouth? Never heard of the name. So we came down to Portsmouth, and she took me to the house and then introduced me to her brother. And the cliche was, when I shook his hand, I had this feeling that I'd known him before. And the very words I said is, have we met before? And he said, I would have never forgotten you. Right, I mean, I was only 18 then. A lot of water's gone under the bridge since then. And that's how we met. And we walked along the seafront, and I thought, oh, what a lovely place to bring up children.
Art has been both a cherished pastime and a form of escapism for Joan, helping her through the darkest of times.
If I picked up a pencil, even before, this is why I'm drawing in that picture, what I've done there, is because I forgot myself. I forgot I was in the house on my own. I forgot there was nobody there who was going to get my dinner ready. And it got to a point where you just went out to play, come home, you knew the house was empty. My brother wasn't there. If he was there, he was a bit of a bully. He liked being the boss over me, kind of thing, and because he knew my mum didn't like me, he never showed any affection towards me either. And that's how the story comes about. But it was the art has been the one thing nobody could take from me. But that very first day that I was there, it was the awful day, and nobody asked you how you felt or anything. You was just a kid. And I sat on the arm of the settee, and one of the sisters come up to me and she said to me, and what would you like to do, Joan? I said, if you've got a pencil and paper, please. And when the sister come up to me and she said, how did you get on, Joan? Could I have a look to see what you've done? And when she saw it, she said, oh my goodness, she said, you've drawn Mary. And that was just a piece of lined paper, you know. And so that followed me. It consoled me. It let me forget what situation I was in, and that every bit of that drawing and forgetting myself and putting my mind, fixing my mind onto something else each time, got me through it.
This is Richard Stringer for That's Solent.